All right, we're on. We're live. Like, oh, fuck. What do you mean we're live? I didn't prepare for this. Have a chat, mate.
Have a chat, mate. And that's your time in England coming out, and you.
That's it. Oh, the banter over there takes a mickey, though. So good.
What do you mean?
They're just like so witty. You know how you love witty.
Oh, I love it.
You love
Yeah.
witty.
Yeah.
Over there, they just different class of witty. It's like, I don't know. I feel like they do their homework and like in primary school and like they get a few lessons on wittiness because they're like some of the shit they come out with is like that's so quick. Like how do you think of that?
Bro,
So
if you're getting roasted in the playground, you learn quick, right?
exactly.
You learn quick. You want to be that kid that's getting roasted.
100%.
That's classic. But like yeah, I guess over there, like I guess there's so many more people. So it's probably like a higher percentage of like guys that love banter, and then
I suppose, but I think it's a culture there too. Like it's
especially if you gravitate to sport. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure you gravitate to sport
what I mean.
because you played football over there, right?
Yeah, football is amazing over there. It's
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because I thought at one point you were professional or was a semi-professional?
Not the last time I was
Yeah,
there. Over there, I was just playing with like a bunch of boys, decent league, Yorkshire Premier Division, but it wasn't like
Yeah,
semi-pro or like that. But when I was there when I went in 2012 was when I trialed.
yeah,
I was there for 5 months, Italy and England.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
just go a little bit closer, I reckon. Yeah,
Alright, bro.
because you're doing these ones, and if you go a bit closer, up,
Okay, got ya.
yeah, because
Are we
then
on?
yeah. Oh, well, mate, we've been on for a little while.
alright.
I just did a little surprise because I want to catch that moment. You know what I was talking about.
Got ya.
I was like, oh, mate, you don't do the old we're on now. Then people freak out. So you were in. You went to England, Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, you played because so you had a couple trial games or something, was it? What was the clubs that you went to? That was a big club. I remember there's one big club in there,
Genoa.
wasn't it? Geneva, yeah.
Genoa.
They're
I
no
was
slouches.
training with them. I was training with them in the junior academy, so they treated me like they treated all the players there like professionals.
Yeah,
So you're in an academy, waking up, having breakfast as a team, having your morning session, lounging in the evening, analysing a game, then going again in the afternoon for another session. Game days on the weekend, all around Italy.
yeah,
Like I played Juventus youth, played with
Yeah.
the Roma.
yeah. Wow.
Good experience,
Yeah,
but you come to realize like players over there in Europe,
yeah,
they're born with the ball at their feet. You know, over
Yeah.
here we're born a little differently. You know, you play football as a hobby, or your parents get you into it. But over there, it's like
yeah,
it's a necessity. You need to know how to control a ball before you learn how to
Yeah.
get rid of your dummy, for example.
yeah,
And it's like you can tell that it's like that because it's like they're a class above
yeah.
in some aspects.
I guess we have that a little bit here because if you get someone like that, like was born in Australia, they can kick a footy,
Yeah,
but like if you then get someone in America, give them a football, they're like holding it weird and like,
yeah, exactly.
But like over there, obviously that baseline is just completely much higher.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you can tell straight out.
Yeah,
Even the knowledge on the game.
but that's funny that when going back to what you said about they teach you academy players like actual real players of the club, like
Yeah.
that thing. Because one of my favorite stories about academy players, Sir Alex at United. There was an academy player. They were in like the cafeteria,
Yeah.
and the academy player was in the line, and Ronaldo pushed in front of him.
Yeah.
And then like Sir Alex went up to the academy player and he's like, mate, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, don't let Ronaldo push in front of you. And the academy player's like, oh, mate, it's Ronaldo. Like, he can do what he wants. Like, and then he's like, bro, he's like, well, I didn't say bro, but he's like, mate, he's like, we got you here to replace him. Like,
Yeah.
take your spot.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. When I heard that story, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
That's why Sir Alex was so good as well, you know,
Yeah.
because he gives a child that mentality that like it's just going to boost his self-esteem, boost his ego, boost his confidence. And at the end of the day, that's what a footballer needs. Footballers are all confident players, you know, especially for attacking players.
So what was there anything that like you think you just not to that level, you just weren't good enough, you come home, or did you get injured or something? Or
I didn't get injured. I had my opportunities, and the opportunities that were offered to me were not attractive enough to live over there. So I wasn't offered anything significant. I was offered like third division in Italy at the end of it, and it was like, they were gonna sort me an apartment and whatnot. But if I was injured, I wouldn't play, and I was only paid if I would play. So like, all right,
appearance
cool.
money only.
Yeah, cool. You've got an apartment for me, but I mean, if I'm not gonna make an appearance, then how do I afford groceries that week? You know, because I'm still gonna be training like
Full
professional.
time. Yeah.
Exactly. But you're only gonna pay me if I appear, which I might not appear the whole year. So that means like, how am I gonna live? It was a big risk, and I was like, by that point, it was the first time that I was away from home for so long as well. So I was starting to miss family too. And
How old were you at that point?
would have been like 18.
Yeah. Okay.
Going on 19. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, like such pressure, and then like, how do you get that funded? And like, no one wants to sponsor you.
That's what I mean. But you know what? Like that experience as well is what gave me the confidence. Like from that point, living abroad on my own and having that experience, like I came back here and I realized, like, mate, I'm not scared of anything. Like I've got the confidence to do what I want. If I want to leave the country again, like I'm no longer scared of being alone. I went through like a tougher time in Italy, you know, where I was by myself. I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm completely by myself.
Yeah.
I'm completely alone. I'm dealing with a lot of emotions at that age as well.
Yeah.
And there was some tough time, but then once I'd got back home and looking back on it, I was like, that was one of the best decisions I made. Like going through that mentally and then like being in that disciplined state, because you're training, you're eating, you're lounging around, you're training, then you're sleeping. It's like very disciplined. So it's kind of like, in a way, nowhere near the same kind of level, but like if you compared it to people that went to the army, for example, they're going in they're living such a structured life. So they learn discipline, they learn self-control, they learn all these qualities that's going to make them a better person no matter what direction they go in life anyway. Yeah. So that was kind of like mainly what I got out of it. And like since getting back from there, I mean, like I've traveled so much more up until my last trip, which I did.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Shout out Jennifer for making you into a man, eh? Just making the Hayden that there is. Yeah, well, that's awesome. And then you came back. How old were you when I met you? Were you 20? Would
have been soon after, yeah, because that's when I was like, oh, crap, I need a job now. I need to find something.
Yeah, yeah.
And that turned out to be a ripper job.
It was a good job. It was a good job. Because you were about 18 then. And then there's a couple of years. It must have been around that time.
It's been 19, 20.
You guys were on your P's.
Yeah. Been about that.
A classic.
Yeah. That's
so for the listeners out there, Hayden and I first met at work through a mutual friend, JP, absolute legend. I looking back, you guys like had a good crew, like JP, Robbie, you, Bart's, all those guys that went to that school. Like, where'd you go? You went to Catholic school,
Chisholm,
yeah. And then just
lads.
Anyone that like I met just through association was just all good caliber.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good way to describe it.
Like,
caliber.
Like you meet some like you meet some people's friendship groups and you're like, yeah, there's a flog there, like whatever, there's a couple there. Yeah. But like just you blokes, all good. And then it got to the point where JP had like, who was upstairs again? What's her name? The real skinny girl, Hannah, legend. Yeah, Hannah was there and stuff. And then it was like, all right, JP, I want to hire someone. You got anyone?
Yeah.
And then it was like, didn't even bother about an interview. No. Like, it's like JP knows good people. Like.
Yeah, perfect.
And then I remember
good times.
Yeah, yourself and Robbie came in, and that was funny. That was a funny moment because we just had Mickey just left, the guy Mick, and then you guys came in. And he was like good-looking young lads, like full of confidence, just full of confidence. And then everyone was like, "Oh, who are these guys?" And there was a whole little revolt. But
that was a good time.
Anyways, but that's like you had that confidence. Like I remember you just being such a confident young man, and then like you're still like that now. It's fantastic.
So that's a key trait in my eyes. Like you have to have confidence to succeed no matter what you're doing, even if you're not confident. You know, if you give that, I forget who says it, but if you're not confident at what you're about to do, but you give the impression that you're super confident. Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah. I think I'll do that a bit too. To be honest, I was just rolling. I was gonna. Like sometimes I sit in a social situation, I'm like, oh, I should probably say something now. Like, what's something weird that I could say that's just break the ice here and then just come out with something stupid.
That's it.
And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
This guy's a wanker. But yeah, that's good. There, cool. And then, I remember you were always traveling because it wasn't long after that you were gone again.
Yeah, like I've done a fair bit, like all together now. I've been like 40 plus countries.
40 plus, wow.
40 plus, yeah. And it's like, you know, from the experiences that I've had, what you actually get from experiencing these countries, these cultures, these people, it's more than any sort of money can buy, you know, because you witness it firsthand, you see how they live and you learn from it straight away. Yeah. Like certain third world countries I've been to where I realize how little they have. Yeah. It makes you come back and you'll all of a sudden appreciate everything that you have, because us from a Western society are entitled at the end of the day. Like we have so much compared to so many other people out there in the world. And it's like, it's really moving when you see it, and it brings you back down to earth and makes you realize, you know what, the media portrays to you what they want you to see. And we're in our Western society bubble where our problems essentially, give or take obviously, but they're inferior compared to these people that might not even be able to afford a pair of shoes so their toes are deformed, or like don't even have a roof over their head, but they're still so happy. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're playing football with a rock.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you see that, and it gives me energy. Gives me energy.
It's cool. It's a cool little time that we live in. Like millennials, I guess, can have this little like crisis period where they're like, I've just got to go. Like I've got to get out there. And I look at guys like yourself, and I've got a lot of mates that travel a lot, and like I've never been overseas. I actually don't own a passport, and it's one thing that I'm going to do this year. That's on my list. And I've started doing all the stuff that I need to do to get it. But I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm like, I'm just going to go. And yeah, like that's what kind of why I really wanted to get you in to have a chat is about all your travels, where you've been, because yeah, you've been 40 plus countries.
100%. That should definitely be one of your goals this year, because I don't know, from the first time I traveled and up until now, like a brand new country, the feeling is completely unique every single time. Brand new country, it's like, wow, there's a whole brand new perspective on the entire world. So it's the same from the very first time to now. I still get that warm fuzzy feeling. It's still like one of my, like I've made a list on my phone about like the top euphoric feelings, top natural euphoric feelings, I should specify. So
it could be an interesting list.
Yeah, so
mate, I reckon we bang that out in a sec. Well, let's bang this list out if you don't mind.
Okay,
if you don't mind, yeah, let's bang this out. We're gonna go Hayden's top euphoric list.
Euphoric feelings, all right. And now this is wow. This is literally something that I've
never shared.
I've never shared, and I've just had it on my phone, and sometimes I'll add to it. So there's about 10 or 12. But I'll just list them. I'm just going to run.
So then these are no order.
No order.
Maybe like list a couple that like glance over a couple like if they're not that great. Like I'm sure that they're euphoric moments, so they're all great. But then like give us a couple, like give us a bit of background on some maybe.
Got a couple: being lost in a foreign city, the conversation we're just having, looking outside a window during transit with your favorite music on. So if you're on a train and you're just listening to
I've even done that one in Melbourne.
Exactly, you can do that. The end point of a sunset, the starting point of a sunrise. Scoring a goal or the perfect touch, seeing someone you love after distance, intimacy.
Yeah,
we have to love that one.
Yeah.
The feeling after hitting a big PB in the gym, swimming in the ocean. So if you're just alone in the ocean, looking up at the sky on a hot day, most amazing feeling.
Pretty crazy.
Watching sparkles on the sun's reflection off the ocean. Yeah, that's amazing. That Friday feeling, whatever day that might fall on. Graduating from anything, seeing a big fluffy dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Euphoric. Techno.
Oh,
when you see your food coming at a restaurant.
Oh, so good. But let's just go back to techno. I like how good sometimes you're just there, and then like when you like for me, a big thing is like when you're in the club, right? You can't talk to anyone, but like, and then I kind of just look out over the sea of heads, and you just see everyone kind of like same thing, but like it's like everyone is talking to everyone.
Oh. 100%.
And then like you just give your mate that look, like
you just
look over and you're like, oh, that is a euphoric feeling.
That's a good feeling
when
too.
you just hear that like the womp womp,
and just vibrates your body, chase the vibration. Yeah, I love it.
It's crazy. I reckon that's like a real tribal, non-verbal communication.
Yeah,
moment.
definitely.
It's like really audible. Like you're in there.
Oh yeah, it's like a jungle in there.
But you're just like sometimes it is that jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, keep going. Sorry, I had to interject on that.
Couple left. So the last one was when you see your food coming at a restaurant.
Oh yeah, best.
The next one is the same above, but with a pint at a bar.
Say that again.
So the same as the above. So when you see your food coming, when you see your pint coming.
Bang,
Beautiful. And the last one, the initial cool breeze that hits your skin after sitting in a sauna or being really hot.
Yeah, that is a good one actually. Yeah. So you just bang out the sauna.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Yeah, that initial rush.
They're like little things, little ones, but you can get them like just from everyday life. Yeah, and they're the things you learn to appreciate as well.
Yeah, and then like I guess we've got to tie that back into your traveling, like best sunset, best sunrise.
Unbelievable where I can see those. A lot of Asia has unbelievable sunsets. So around Indonesia, Malaysia, those sunsets are incredible. Bali, if you've been there, that's a pretty easy one to get to as well. But Croatia, unreal sunsets in Croatia. Albania, they're probably my top. I gotta say they're my top three. Indonesia, Albania, Croatia, most amazing sunsets I've ever seen.
Sunsets, sunrises.
Ooh.
King Street, Sunday morning.
There you go. Doesn't get better, does it? Oh no, it really doesn't. I gotta block that one in. That takes me back though.
Yeah, there is something crazy about like where either you've been partying or you've been up all night reading a book. That as soon as the sun comes up, it's just another gear.
Yeah.
Like we're off again.
Yeah.
And it's all like...
So it's like, oh, well, no time for sleep now. I got to get on with it now.
And that shit gets you to at least 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, like you've been like, whatever you've been doing.
Yeah.
Generally, I've had 1,000 beers at that point.
100%. And they just kick off again.
Yeah. And I'm having the best chats of my life with a good mate. Yeah. And he's like, oh, look. And then that kind of sky goes that light blue.
Yeah.
And you're never in a spot where you're going to see the sun come up. But you're in that, the sky goes light blue and you're like, oh, well, it's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Much. Yeah, well. Oh, well.
There now.
We've done it. Got to move on.
But going back to what you said there, a funny thing that I saw on your socials not long ago is when you're in Albania, when you're on TV. Yeah. You said the sunset's in Albania, but you're on Albanian TV. Like
that was a funny story, honestly.
Mate, I reckon you were carrying that show. Hey, I watched the episode. I was like, he's doing a great job. He's carrying it here.
Honestly, it was the most random thing. So I was staying in the capital of Albania in Tirana.
Yeah.
And I met this random German guy in a hostel and we connected instantly. And within like probably an hour and a half, like we were like, you know what, we got to check out the coast of Albania because we're deep into the city here. So we're like, all right, we'll go tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm down. So we literally packed our things. Yeah. We left on this random bus. Now the transport in Albania is very 10 years ago. Like it's all over the place. Yeah. So it's like this random minivan with an A4 piece of paper with some writing on it. We got on, we jumped on. They took us as close as we could to the coast. We realized there is really no public transport here really. Yeah. So we're like, screw this. We'll start hitchhiking. So we're at the very top of the coast and we're like, we'll hitchhike all the way down to the bottom, which is like a 10-hour drive. We hitched a ride from probably like all up 5 or 6 different random people. Wow. It was like a Belgium couple, local fishermen, 3 Albanian lads. Like unreal. And the people you connect with in those situations, it's crazy. And I've never really done that sort of stuff before. So it was like, I felt alive doing it. Anyway, so the 3 Albanian lads ended up dropping us halfway to the south and we stayed there the night. So we went to this beach. We met this random fisherman. Yeah. We paid him to drop us at this island. And then we basically kicked it on the island, had a bit of a cheeky sesh, stayed there the whole night and hoped that this fisherman came back to pick us up the next morning, which thankfully he did. He did. He picks us up. We head towards the road. Now the next people that we go to hitchhike with or try to get hitch a ride from is this TV crew. And they're approaching us with like cameras and lights. And me and this German are like, what is going on? What is happening right now? And they rock up and they start talking to us. And it happened to be the person who does the news every night for Albania. She happens to be an Australian girl.
No way.
Okay. And she's like, oh, no way. What are you guys doing here? Like, we're trying to get down to the south. We're trying to look at all the beaches. And she's like, it's your lucky day, guys, because we run a TV show at the moment, running a documentary on why foreigners come to Albania. And today's segment is on the best beaches in Albania. So you can just tag along with us and be part of the episode. Wow. So then from that point on, me and this German are randomly getting interviewed and we're like camera in our face. And sometimes we'll just turn to each other and be like, what's happening, man? Like, how did we get into this situation? Gold. Bought us lunch, took us around. Like, it was so much fun. Such a good day. Such a good day. And then like a few weeks later, I'm watching the episode. I was like, it's unreal. It's unreal. And that's the sort of things that like happen when you are traveling as well. It's like you never know what's gonna go on. You know, you can expect anything, and it's so exciting.
You never know unless you never go.
Exactly.
And just get up and then just bang, and then like go back to hitchhiking for a sec. So, like, mate, how's your Albanian?
That's what I mean. You don't really need any.
With the German guy, was he?
The German spoke fluent English.
German, obviously.
Yeah. But when it comes to hitchhiking, throw a thumb out. Like, I would never wait. We would never wait that long. Yeah. Someone would pull out, no matter what or where they were going. They'll be like, jump in. We'll drive you a few Ks. And like, at the start, you got like a few trust issues and that. But after the first one, I was like, sign me up, man. Whoever's picking me up, get in. Those 3 Albanian lads was the most scary one, because it was like, there was 3 of them, young boys, in a ute, bit rowdy, proper Albanian. They've got like 3 beers in their hand. They're driving up this mountain road. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get in this car, but I got in anyway. And then like it was just so fun. Like it's they're the stories you look back on. And
just a couple of non-verbal, like little eyebrow looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like kind of like want to sip a beers, a couple of like, was it like that? Like
well, they gave us beers while we were driving, like that. But we're obviously passengers, so yeah, it was a entertaining day.
And then like in terms of like, will they listen to any music or anything?
To be honest, we were trying to connect a lot. So the English
was
very broken. Yeah, and they were nice guys. So it was fun.
Yeah. Because I reckon if I got some tourists in my car, I would try the whole non-verbal, try a couple of bits and pieces wherever they're from, but then just go, let's just bang the aux chord, drop a few hammers and
could do that too.
And then just kind of just see like, do they like that?
Yeah,
or like
just go by. The music says it all though, huh?
Yeah.
That's what the
sometimes
universal language.
Yeah. Yeah, I love music. Yeah, music's a big connector.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, like, I think going back to your some of your traveling as well, like you've been to some awesome music festivals around the globe,
yeah,
right?
I've been to a few now.
Some of your favourites?
Some of my favourites. I went to Waking Life in Portugal, which is a 4-day festival in like the desert in Portugal. Yeah. It's kind of for anyone out there that knows about Boom Festival, which happens every 2 years in Portugal. Yeah.
That's better. Yeah.
It's kind of on a lower scale to that. So it's like a more intimate one.
Yeah, cool. Sometimes they're the best.
Yeah.
A good couple thousand people, like or
exactly.
a couple hundred. And then,
exactly.
One of my favourite photos of you, I'll put it up down here for the people viewing on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, on Instagram, you can check out Hayden's Instagram. We'll tag in the description, etc. Drop it at the end. But is you at, I think it's an Aussie festival somewhere, and you got like a top hat on, a rave stick.
Yeah, I know which one.
And like you just like standing there, and you just love him,
ready to go. Yep.
I look at some of those photos. I'm like, fuck. He knows how to do life. This young man. He knows what's going on.
So it was a good time. Had a few good times.
I think it's Nathaniel, right?
Yeah.
I've never met him. I've heard so much about Nathaniel, so many stories.
It's funny because me and Robbie have spoken multiple times about you as well. So it's like, Nathaniel knows very well about you, but does not actually know you.
Yeah. So like, I feel like I know him.
Yeah.
I reckon if I just met him, I was like, how you going, mate? Like, wouldn't even bother just getting to know him. So yeah, Nathaniel, whatever, mate. But he's like a part of your crew. Like there's a big, you had that triangle of lads, like you, Rob, and Nathaniel for a while.
Exactly.
But that particular photo, I reckon, is just a cool one. And like your Instagram is full of all these moments. Before you got here, I was doing my research as best as possible, cramming it in before you text me saying I'm here. And I was like, wow, like real eclectic mix. Like you've been to a lot of places, and some of the stories we just skimmed across. Yeah. But it's just like unbelievable. Like, and then I look at myself, and that's why I'm so attracted to your story. Is that I've never been out of Australia. Like I've been to Adelaide, and that's about it.
That's what I mean. But
I've been everywhere in Australia.
You can go at any time, though. That's the beauty of it. You can literally leave at any time.
So on that, where's the first place I should go?
Oh, the first place you should go, like, I mean, Europe's a safe bet. I've been there 4 times for that reason, because I fell in love with the continent. Like, there's just so much there. But it really depends on what you're after as well.
Yeah, okay.
Because, I mean, every country has something different to offer. So, like, if you're after nature, if you're after partying, there's all different spots to go. Like, you wouldn't go to Berlin kind of thing if you want, like, mountains and beautiful, like, not that it's not beautiful, but I mean, you'd go to Berlin for a different reason. You know, it's a different kind of city, it has a different kind of scene, as opposed to like if you wanted to go hiking, like I'd go to Austria or something like that. You know, there's like, it depends what you're after. So depending, what you want from it is where you'd go. But Southeast Asia is another one, because super cheap, so cheap to travel through Southeast Asia. And like for an Australian, a lot of the places they love Australians. Like a lot of the world loves Australians, so you'll never really have a problem anywhere, I don't think.
I'm kind of I'm a really bad impulsive spender, and I'm like, I suck at saving. So one of the things that have attracted me to you as well is that you've kind of monetized a lot of your travels. Like whether you've either worked, I'll get you to get into more detail, but it seems to me like from the outsider looking in, and I'd love to explore it more, like your online training and coaching business for health and fitness, like that gives you like a bit of revenue while you're traveling. Plus you've got your teaching degree. Like you're not just a bloke that just picked up his bags and went traveling. You actually went to uni and
I try to get things done. Yeah.
And tell me about, actually, before we get into that, tell me about your teaching stuff, because your mum's a teacher, right? Well, she's more than just a teacher. Mum's quite impressive. She's got a big resume, right?
Yeah, mum's done a few. So she's finishing off her 3rd degree now. Yeah. And she's coordinating English at Oakley Grammar. So, she's doing a bit there. Yeah. But
I thought they speak Greek there, mate. Why is she teaching English there?
That's probably why they need it.
Shout out to everyone at Oakley Grammar. Like,
Yasu.
It's all good, like, I don't mean anything. Yeah, but she's written books though and stuff as well. Like,
I've read a few,
yeah, like
5 or something, mainly children's books. But yeah,
wow,
she's done a lot.
remarkable.
She's a busy woman.
Is that where you got your thirst for wanting to be a teacher?
I wouldn't say so much because like I see that it works, and like obviously my mum's my inspiration as well. But at the same time, I looked at teaching as versatility, and I chase versatility. Like if I'm versatile, I know that I always have options because I'm someone who needs variety in life. So if I'm versatile, it gives me lots of options. So I studied exercise science initially, and then halfway through that degree, I was like, hang on a minute, like I have this aspiration to travel the world. If I have this exercise science degree, do you reckon I could just swap and change jobs as easy as I could with a teaching degree? So I went into teaching simply because, like, yes, I want to be able to educate and I'm good at educating others. But at the same time, I went into teaching because it's very versatile. I can jump into most countries, find work, and it's one of them careers that you can kind of rely on or fall back on if other things don't work out.
Yeah, I think versatility just equals the ability to adapt in any scenario, any situation. And like
exactly.
You said, like you can use it traveling.
Exactly.
And there's a need for like English speaking teachers, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. It's very high demand. Yeah. The UK, huge demand. Parts of Asia, massive demand. You can get even roles in Italy. Like literally, especially as an Australian teacher, you can walk into countries, and when it comes to especially English, like you can get jobs pretty easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Any good abroad teaching stories you'd like to share with the viewers of the Toddcast? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah, there would be. I worked at I won't name the school, but a pretty deprived school in Bradford, and I did what's called like emergency teaching there initially. And so I had a couple of days there, and it was wild, like a wild zoo. Like I had chairs thrown, like tables flipped, and I was like, no, not coming back here. No chance.
This just kind of sounds like where I went to school, Gladstone Park. This seems like a normal day, man. A couple of chairs.
Anyway, so like later they called me. Like a couple of weeks later, they're like, we want to offer you like some work, a bit more permanent. I was like, you know what? I'll pass. I'll keep floating around doing emergency teaching. Yeah. And they offered me a significant pay rise to stick around. So I was like, all right, I'll stick around. Best decision I made because like I made some amazing connections with staff. Yeah. The kids eventually grew on me. But like if I'm teaching here in Melbourne, I'm dealing with the behavior, like a kid might get into a fight with another kid, or a kid might get into a fight over a girl he likes, or girls might be having a little clash together. Yeah. Over there, I'm dealing with like knife crime, drugs. Like it's hectic, and it's because it's hectic, it's like, I don't know, in a weird way, like sometimes I had to bring parents in about seriously defiant behavior with a child, and then seeing their parents, I'm like, hang on, kid, now I understand your parents make sense of it all now, because look at your parents, like, without disrespect, you're a dropkick as well. So now it changes my whole approach how I deal with that kid. Now instead of like trying to tell him off or yelling at him, now it's all of a sudden, now I'm understanding, and I realize, you know what, maybe I am one of your like most important male role models in your life. And I didn't think of it that way until I start seeing where they're actually coming from, and like the upbringing that I've had.
And just like, how do you do that? Just bring them under your wing. Like, what do you do? Like, I actually would know what I've got to do. Like, I'd be like trying to give Donagis to little kids, get away from me.
I suppose it was more of instead of like a kid's looking for the reaction, he's used to that at home. Like he's used to doing the wrong thing and being yelled at. Yep. So if you don't take the same approach as a teacher, you're going to get the same behavior pattern coming back. So instead, it's like questioning the behavior, starting to understand why you're doing what you're doing, or like what's the underlying issue here. If you start understanding them and like questioning their actions, like they start trusting and becoming more confident with you, and then all of a sudden they're opening up about more, and once they're opening up about more, you can start seeing, all right, now I understand your behavior is explained by how you think here, and it gives you a bit more room to work with a child.
What kind of class were you teaching? Physical education, or were you?
I did English for 1.5 terms, and then I did PE for the remainder of the year.
Cool.
It was the PE where I connected better with most students, because that's my area. Yeah, okay. So I was able to like for example, I ended up running I integrated like a gym club. So I was teaching kids how to lift properly, and then so I have like some of the kids that might have been bad in maths and English class coming to the club, and then it gives me a chance to connect with them, find out what's going on in classes, maybe hopefully improve their behavior with their other teachers.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And probably a really good state to get some of those kids in the physical like environment.
Yeah.
Like they've been like a little bratty today, mate. Make them run.
Exactly.
they ain't gonna mess up too much.
Wear them out. They won't go too much longer after that.
Yeah, but also in that though, like the endorphins and stuff. Like you've done exercise science. I'm sure you could elaborate on it. But like as soon as you go to the gym, you feel good. Like you don't 100%. Feel like you're gonna be destructive.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. So and then you did a bit of a weightlifting club and whatever, and kind of got them on the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Struggling at mass, 2 plates. What do we lift them, boys?
Yeah, exactly.
If I take away one of these plates, what's left?
Yeah, exactly. Probably can relate in cross-curricular areas.
Didn't happen once. Yeah. But no, it's maybe not a bad idea. Yeah, that's awesome. And then where else did you teach? So the UK you taught, obviously. Anywhere else? Have you?
No, because then I started working online. So after, like I was always working online, but where my plan was always finish off the academic year. Once I finished there, I don't want to work for like close to a year. I don't want to physically work for close to a year. I just want to make income from my laptop. So that was kind of the plan I was leaning towards the whole time. So I sent out a few different resources. I had my ebook. I put a load of good content out there so that way it would kind of hopefully position me with a number of clients that could semi-finance a lifestyle even. Yeah. Which, like, to be fair, it helped a lot. Like, you know, it's financed a decent amount of what I did.
Yeah. And Aussie dollar, it's got some weight in some countries, like in like
particularly
US
Asia.
Sucks. Yeah, Asia is not too bad. So
Europe, not so much. You get
it sucks. It sucks. Yeah, but that's awesome. And obviously we trained together a little bit. Well, you trained me. I was one of your clients. Yeah. I let the relationship down. It wasn't Hayden. It was me. He's a really good trainer. Don't judge from my results. But I think you're tremendous in terms of what you've done. And how did you learn that? Like more from your degree, or is it just where's that at? Like how did you pick it all up? Because some of your techniques are awesome. I thought like I'll go back, I'll rephrase all that. My kind of vision or some personal trainers I've had in the past. It's funny that fat people, right? Well, I've had like 4 dietitians. I've had like 6 personal trainers. So I get a really good scope of everyone. Yeah. So I'm probably like really good to give reviews on. Yeah. But so you kind of tore down the walls of that stereotype. Like some of the training that you did, or just the way that you explained it, or the way that you structured your training, like absolutely like was killer. That short-term results that I was getting was unbelievable.
I guess it's the blend of like being able to come from an education background with a passion for exercise science. You can blend the two together. So it's like you got to bring the science in, because it's not me telling you that you're going to get results. It's me telling you that if you follow this, science is going to tell you that you will get results, not that you might get results. If you follow it, this is what's going to happen. And then obviously the background in teaching helps me make it a little bit more fun, or helps me communicate in a way that another person's going to understand. And obviously that just comes down to mirroring, you know, who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to a child, I'm going to explain it very differently to if I'm talking to an athlete, as opposed to if I'm talking to someone that's just a general population kind of client. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like kind of the structure of your workouts, if I can remember, that we kind of did like kind of some like, I think, what was it, like lengthening stuff, plyometric. Is that what was it we do at the start? And then there was a bit of strength, and then it was like time to mess up Todd day.
Yeah, so,
so it's like 3. Yeah,
there's generally a blend.
Is this before you go into that? Is this like a good structure for just any regular person? Obviously, it matters on who they are, the different situations, but like
it definitely depends on the client. But normally, the structure, for example, with you was more of an activation approach, and I would generally, and still do to an extent to this day, combine 4 different training methods. So like a hip-based training, gymnastic strength or calisthenics-based training, powerlifting-based training, and then plyometrics. So all 4 of those. Now, it's not to say that those 4 I would take with every single client, but it's out of those 4, depending on the client, one would be most emphasized. So for you, for example, when we were training, it was more the high-intensity interval side of things, and then a blend of powerlifting-based movements as well.
Yeah, that fucking bike with the...
the assault, kills ya.
Right,
Death by assault, I call it.
Hey, I've never been on one since.
Yeah. Don't blame me, mate. Don't blame me.
And it shows. Yeah. I should stop roasting myself, eh? That's pretty funny. But the training and stuff, I guess that's really huge. Like I think your results, like when I first met you, like you were like a real skinny kid. Like you were still ripped, but you were that, like, I guess that age, and what your goals wanted to achieve. Like you needed to be really light because you played midfield. Yeah.
I was a winger, yeah.
Yeah, winger. Well, so you have to be light, right?
Yeah, you got to be quicker on your feet.
But yeah, like I fanboy out on your Instagram pretty hard. I think I dropped a comment every now and then. I'm like, rig, like whatever. But check out his Instagram, guys, if you get a chance. Because what do you want to achieve with your training and your goals? Like, where are you at? Like, obviously it's your job, so you need to be a good example. But what's your mentality with why you're keeping fit?
Yeah, so for me now, it's just a lifestyle thing as well. For starters, no matter, even if I wasn't training for anything, like it would still be something that I'm going to do because that's my industry as well. So obviously I've got to practice what I preach consistently, you know. But my goals for this year, I'll probably play football again on a local level though. So I won't reach for the stars there because I've got my eyes on the Victorian Athletics League season at the end of 2020. Yeah. So I competed a few events before I left in the 70-meter gift runs. And not that I'd be running for money, but I mean, there's some real attractive coin there that you can make for running a 70-meter race. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to make like 10, 20, 30K to run 70 meters, which is the sort of dollars that are up for grabs, that would be pretty interesting to me. And that was kind of my strengths during football was my pace and stuff. So learning how to sprint properly, it's a nice feeling when you're literally taking flight and you're like at max speed. Yeah, you feel like a racehorse, and it's a good feeling. Yeah,
I get the cool thing about what sprinting is. You get a pretty good beach bod as well.
Oh yeah,
like you go marathon runner. Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sprinter,
exactly.
like yeah,
and that's just a product of the training style, isn't it? So
yeah, okay. See, that's tremendous, right? I think that's one thing I really struggle with, right? And like it's just stupid because I think I'm smart enough to know, but like. You said there, you go, it doesn't matter what I was doing. I'm just like staying healthy for life. Like I really struggled to get that concept home. Yeah. Like, and I've always just been a big kid. So I'm like, kind of like, I'm kind of like, and I'll have a crack and then I'll just like kind of drops off.
Yeah. But at the same time, but
that awesome mentality, like it's life. Like you can live life optimally.
Yeah.
If you like right now, like, and this is what sometimes I try and scare myself into. I'm like I'll be like walking in a car park or something. I'm like, right now, if someone attacked me, like, could I chase them or could I run? Yeah. I'm like, props not. Yeah. But you could. So do you ever think about that kind of stuff, like fear, like, or like when you say your baseline for life, like what is that baseline like?
So it's not that I would think about that sort of stuff. It's more like for example, something like traveling, for example, like I'm highly active, hiking, always moving. Like it's just, even if I'm not looking to compete at something, I would rather still be in a physical condition where like I can do whatever I want kind of thing. So if I want to like go on a 3-hour hike just randomly one day, I can just do that.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, and instead of having to think, all right, I want to go on a 3-hour hike in 6 months' time, so I should start training for that now because it's what I want to do in 6 months' time. It's just like being fit for life kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Because, you like right now, if you really wanted to, you could just pack up your gear and like you're off. Like you could go anywhere. Basically, you could do
that's what I've done.
Not because you're fit,
4 or 5 times.
Not one because you're fit. One, you got the mentality, and then 2, you think. So I think, if you want to be like that, to anyone that's listening, have a good baseline of fitness and have the no fear approach. Yeah, that's it. To everything, because it seems like your whole career is like your life so far has been built around just having absolutely no fears or.
Yeah, well that's it. It's more like just like I put a tattoo just below. Just on like the higher end of my hamstring. Yeah. And it says, make no small plans. Oh, just because it's my way of looking at it, like life in general. Like it's my way of saying, chase any dream you have. Yeah. If you make no small, like, what's the point of small plans? Yeah. Think big, make big plans. Yeah. Make things that's like, think of something that's going to scare you and then do that. Yeah. And if you are aiming for that moon, like you might reach a star or something, you know, you might reach a star in the process. And that's the approach I've taken. Like if you're always shooting like higher, you might fall short sometimes, but falling short might also show you 3 brand new doors that you wouldn't have found if you didn't shoot for that missed target that you didn't reach. Yeah. Wow. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of mindset that I try and teach my clients as well, you know, like that champion mindset. If you always think, even if you fail, like you can go back to a typical Michael Jordan quote about like he's missed what he's learned is the shots that he missed. That's where he learned most. Yeah, that's tremendous. And it's true. Like, and then like even just recapping on some of the things that you said, like you didn't get like you got offered a 3rd division contract in Geneva, but that was that whole experience was the best in your life.
And for some people, that breaks people. They go, fuck, I didn't make it.
That's what I mean. Exactly. Like, you can look at it.
And they just put on heaps of weight. And then like the amount of dudes I've seen, like, he's like massive. And he's like, how'd you go? Like, what, your career, whatever. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I was a superstar at this. And it's like, bro. Yeah, sure you were, bro.
That's it. At the end of the day, perspective's a choice. You can choose to have one perspective or choose to have the other. It's not I see it this way and that's it. Unless you're a highly ignorant person. Yeah. Then perspective is a choice. You can choose to look at things differently.
So, and again, like so many of your decisions, some of the stuff that we've just discussed, you've turned a real pessimistic situation into optimism. Like with that time when you were at Bradford, you're like, oh, these kids are the worst. Like the worst of the worst. You kind of weakened and kind of said, nah, I'm not going back there. And you're like, oh, all right. Yeah. Like they got you in that situation.
Well, money talks though.
Money speaks all languages, but yeah, it might have been a big enough motivation, but you made that choice to go back and then put yourself in a situation and think. So how do you tackle things with so much optimism? Like, is this something you tell yourself, or are you just like, I don't know, do you do it automatically? Have you never thought about this? Or
no, it's not that I haven't thought about it. It's more that there is no other way for me. Like if I think of a situation, there's no other option but the brighter option. Yeah. You know, like it's easy to be in a situation and see, all right, something negative's happened, and you can dwell on it and dwell on it and dwell on it, but it's not doing anything productive for the situation because you've already made that choice. Yeah. So or that thing that's already happened, so you can't now make that change. So it's better to look at it instead of thinking, all right, I've messed up here and being down about it. You're saying, all right, what did I learn from this situation? Take the lesson and look at the lesson as a bright thing, like you're looking at it as a positive, you know, and then that's how you develop as a person, in my opinion. Yeah, and then just continue to like exactly push forward and make it out of that. And to be fair, like with the stuff that I do online while I was traveling, like a lot of it is actually the psychological component with clients. You know, like sometimes they just need that person to have these sort of conversations that we're having right now, you know, and like give them that other perspective on how to look at a situation, not as an opinion, but more so like I'm looking at what you've told me and I'm going to give you what I see and how you've told me. And sometimes having that person's perspective heard can like change completely how that person looks at things. Yeah. And all of a sudden now they are seeing three other options instead of like thinking, all right, this is the only way and I can't do it. Yeah. So there's no other option. It just sometimes opens a person's mind, which is what I kind of try and do when I'm talking to a client. Like when we were training, you know, it's more the educational side of things. It's more the trying to understand that person as a human being, not a number kind of thing. Yeah. See, I was going to ask this, and I will ask it now, but like why an online coach? But I'll get into my reason why I'm probably pessimistic about it. Yeah. Is because the times that we train together, every time I show up, like I'm there, like I was there, except a couple of times I had a bit of back issues or whatever. But when I'm there and I'm fit, like I'll train and I'm on. And I love that someone going 2 more, 3 more. Yeah. Fucking do this now. Like now we're on over here. Because if that person wasn't there, like I'm taking the piss and I'm cheating myself and I know that. So I reckon for me, like an online coach, I'll be like, yeah, hey man, I'm doing real well, bro. Pushed out 6. Obviously, my results aren't gonna. I'll get caught out somewhere. Yeah. But the thing is like, why an online coach? Like, what have you seen that's different? And I'm sure some of your clients have probably had that doubt in their mind, and you've got a number of long range clients. Like, why online coaching? Yeah, 100%. So a lot of my clients I haven't actually met. So there's a few clients on there that I've never actually met. They've just reached out. They've seen my Instagram, they've seen my social media, and then they reach out and want the coaching. So essentially why an online coach is because for someone that wants one-on-one personal training, so one reason is the cost. So for a one-on-one personal training session, these days people are paying anywhere between $70 to $100 for a single session. Yeah. Online coaching is going to cost you that over the course of 1 month. So it might be $70 or my rate, $79 for the entire month. And you're getting all your programming, all your nutrition. Yeah. So some people that don't require the motivation, so it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone, but for some people that don't require the motivation, or they just need the program, they just need the formula to succeed or to achieve the goals. That's when it comes down to art and the science of programming. So if you can give people the tools to succeed on their own.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's all I'm doing with online coaching. I'm creating the program and then the next phase of programming and then the next phase of programming according to that person's goals. That person simply follows the program, simply takes the steps, and they are getting the results. I'm not getting the results for them. I'm just providing them with the path
formula
that's going to get them the results in the long run.
Yeah, okay.
But at the end of the day, it's that person's responsibility to get the results.
And I guess that does provide motivation. It's more intrinsic motivation. They're more by the results. Because you said, like, for someone who wants motivation, I think my thing is that I want instant motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want those little hits, like to be someone on my ass to be like, this is what you got to do. Like, this is where you got to be. So, yeah, that sounds really good actually. And if you can keep it up, which, like, if you've seeked it out or you're willing to pay it, like, you should keep it up. Like,
to be fair, the retention rate is quite high. So a lot of clients how I like to look at it is if you think of your Spotify account, and you've got all your playlists and you've spent a lot of time creating these amazing playlists. Yeah. If you lose the app, you're going to lose all your playlists. Yeah. So it's a similar concept. Like, over time, the data is collected through the app. So you're seeing all your personal best. You're seeing all your.
So you have you have an app.
Yeah, it's an app. So you have all your personal best, all your training data. For some clients have been with me now a couple of years worth of data on this app. Plus they're getting the programming. So they're not thinking on what they should do in the gym. They just have to follow a program. And then they've got communication with a trainer 24/7. So like for those reasons, it's like, it's optimal for a person who doesn't want to pay for personal training. Yeah. Just wants to know what to do, when to do it. Like, it's the most cost-effective and time-efficient option for people out there these days. And, like, if you look at the world of online coaching, it's a saturated industry these days, especially with fitness. Yeah. Like, there's so many of them out there. Yeah. So my point of difference is kind of having that one-on-one relationship. I only ever take on max 16 to 17 clients at a time.
Okay, so you'll keep it stable.
I'll cap it. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it's not like people coming on cookie cutter programs and I got a client base of 50 to 100 people. Yeah, yeah. Because otherwise, like, I could make significantly more money, but my integrity as a trainer would diminish because I'm selling myself out to sell these cookie cutter programs and make a lot more money for a hit after hit after hit. Or you can establish those more meaningful relationships, see a person genuinely change, see a person genuinely gets the results from what you've told them to do. And that's the most rewarding feeling, when I'm coaching an athlete or a client and I see them get the results that they want. Same from a teaching perspective. If I see a child or an adolescent learn from me, like, that's the rewarding feeling. That's why I got into the industries that I'm in. Yeah.
Any notable, obviously don't have to drop their name, but any notable transformations that you've had, like, on board? You've had a couple of clients for a long time, like.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like, I wouldn't, I don't want to drop a name just in case, course, but at the same time, like, I've been in this industry for 3.5, close to 4 years now in personal training, and then, like, if you're referring to online stuff, the online stuff, definitely. So I get a lot of retention based on, like, how they're not only looking but feeling. So it's like those significant behavior changes is what I kind of thrive off. So, like, if someone doesn't change body composition and have, like, a very impressive body composition change over the course of 6 months, that's fine. But if I've changed how that person thinks about food and looks at training, and now they are self-sufficient, then that's my job done, because I know I've now taught you to run your own ship. You're now just staying with me either because of loyalty, because I have the programs for you and it's easy for you, or you just want that resource and for accountability. But at the end of the day, now I've taught you how, what, and when to do things that you can technically survive on your own now. Yeah.
Okay. The building blocks. So then, like, if you keep it pretty tight, like you said, 16 or 17 or whatever, that was around that number, right? Yeah. Do you have any openings at the moment? So if anyone is listening and thinks this is fantastic, or you're probably pretty fully booked, or
at the moment, I actually just posted something on Instagram that I had one vacant spot. That filled a while ago, but then today I posted another one. There is one vacant spot available at the moment only.
And I know that like, from history that I've seen, those go pretty quickly. So
they go. Sometimes that one spot can stay open for a few weeks, but I mean, it just takes a little bit of time and a bit of content, and I don't do much marketing myself, so a lot of it comes from someone that said something, and then I get someone message me saying, "Hey, so and so's giving me a number." Yeah.
But I think a lot of it comes from proofs in the pudding, like.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Like you look at your training and, like, your training, like, what it looks to be every day. And I don't believe that you'd be someone that would schedule posts. Like, I honestly think you're out there every day just because, like, you don't look like this for no reason. Like, so And yeah, like you always seem pretty fit. Like it doesn't matter where you are. And some of my favorite videos have been you in like random locations doing calisthenics or
Yeah. I love that stuff.
Most random place you've trained?
Most random place I've trained would have to be on a balcony in a dodgy Airbnb in Slovakia.
just check it out there. The city underneath.
Literally, first day we got there, I was like, oh man, I just realized we're not really doing much tonight.
Yeah.
Shops were really closed. It was one of them weird nights. We had no
nothing
beers, nothing. I was
yeah.
with the boys. I was like, you know what? I'll smash out a session on this balcony because it's a nice night and I'm just gonna do it.
So like you hear stories of like people being like real jacked in prison, and I guess that they're like a small box.
Oh yeah.
You're dealing with a balcony.
Yeah.
Let's say if there's someone out here listening that wants to bang a workout on a balcony, that's all they've got.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Bodyweight stuff, all only. Like that's all you can.
Can you give us some examples or?
So in that scenario, I mixed up a bit of yoga flows, and then I did a little bit of a high intensity interval workout. So whether it's like a few push-ups, squat jumps, then into like a stretch or something like that, but like kind of keep your heart rate up. So whatever you can do to keep your heart rate up with your body weight. You'd be surprised what you can actually do with your body weight. And at that time, I wasn't too into calisthenics, but now that I am in that kind of world, like the amount of things that you can do using just your body weight to make gains is unbelievable. Like you can train anywhere, anytime. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's unreal.
A friend of mine's partner was a yoga instructor, and she showed me that, and she was like, "Oh, like yoga's awesome. You should do it for weight loss." And I was like, "What, stretch?" And she's like, "Yeah, watch this." So she had a heart rate monitor. She popped it on, and then she got me to do like a couple of poses or whatever, like real simple, like touch your toes, like real simple stuff. And then she's like, "Look," and then my heart rate was just like, and I'm like, okay. I was like, that makes sense. And then like I wasn't puffed out or anything, and I wasn't exerting, but like my heart rate went up. Does that equal fitness? Like, I don't know. Does that work? But that was her example.
Essentially, yes. So especially from a fat loss perspective, if your heart rate's increasing, that's essentially meaning that you are going to be burning more calories per minute, essentially. And that's the goal of fat loss, really, to expend as much energy or more energy than you are taking in, essentially.
So you mentioned yoga flow was one thing that you said that you did on the balcony. What the fuck's a yoga flow?
Yoga flow. So it's like a series of different patterns or different movements that come together as like a nice flowing movement. So instead of holding a single stretch, you might go from one stretch, then slowly transition into the next, and then slowly transition into the next. Okay. Until you're like kind of flowing. So you might choose 4 or 5 different movements from each of them. So you're kind of like finding that pattern that you can work with. Do
you have any examples of yoga flows on your content or anything like that? Is there any way you can, or just people just
there is
YouTube it, or
you can go onto my Instagram, and if you scroll, you'll find something. There's a bit of everything there.
Couple of yoga flows.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's the thing. Like I hear so many people throw around this term yoga. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, I did some Bikram. Yeah, couple bickies in there. Like I'm like, yeah, cool. But like, and to be honest, like I feel like I'd be embarrassed to go to yoga class. I'm like a baby elephant, mate. I don't want to be falling over. Like, but tell me, what do you think about yoga? Like, if you sound like you do it, like some of it or some components of it. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we just actually hired a teacher today. So believe it or not, I've been speaking a lot about yoga today. So
really?
Yeah. So we've the company that I'm now working with, we were looking for a yoga teacher. We brought one in. We had a chat. My opinion on yoga is very, very beneficial. It's a good way to stretch and recover, essentially, but also it's a form of meditation for people. So a lot of people can get a lot more out of it than simply the stretch. And this is when we get deeper into fitness as well. It's more than just like muscle gain, fat loss. It's more than just the body composition side of things. It's a holistic approach where you're getting those benefits that are more than just physical. You're getting those mental benefits. You're slowing down the heart rate, slowing down the breathing, the thinking. You can walk out of these sessions and feel a lot more clarity in your head. You can feel a lot more like one with yourself in a way. I don't know. We're getting real deep here, but it's more like
but why not? Let's go down the rabbit hole.
The stretching is the main component of the yoga, I guess, because you're finding those stretches in every single muscle group. Like you do your yoga class, like a vinyasa or a yin class, you're stretching every single muscle group really, and you're walking out of there like loosey goosey, you know. Yeah, and that's a good feeling in itself. Yeah,
because I've heard so much. Like it feels like there's so much going on at the moment. The last couple of years around breathing and yoga. So like even like I like Wim Hof. Do you know Wim Hof? He's like this German guy. He's a bit crazy. He does like ice bars, or he'll go to like the North Pole and do it with just shorts only.
Yeah.
He went to base camp in Everest with just shorts and shoes. And he puts it all back to breathing, like real big deep breaths in, breaths out. He does like this whole cycle thing.
The human body is unreal though, you know?
Yeah.
The things that the human body can actually withstand is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you see some crazy things like that where the human body is being put through its paces.
Yeah.
You know, so it's funny what the mind tells you that you must stop at. You can generally go 40% more. So it's called 40% rule. 40% rule, where whenever you think you're about to stop, you're actually only 40% there. You got 60% left in the tank.
So you can actually go double and a half, like
literally.
You do what you just did and then go a little.
How people perceive exertion is very like they don't perceive it quite well.
Yeah, and I really empathize with that. I reckon it's true because like I've just been super motivated a couple of times.
Yeah,
and then go for a walk and then be like, no, I'm gonna smash it.
Yeah,
and then go for like 10Ks.
Yeah,
I've never walked 10Ks in my life before that. Like there was this one time I did it. I remember like I broke up with this girl or whatever, and I was like real sad about it. And then it was a long story, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just going for a walk. And then I walked from Paran to Port Melbourne.
Yeah,
and I was like. But I went the beach. I went the beach way.
Then you have to walk back.
No, do you know what I did? Called an Uber. It's like 10Ks, called an Uber. I was like, and then the Uber driver was kind of looking at me a bit funny because I had like shorts and t-shirt, shoes on. It looked like I was going for a walk. And I was super back. And then I just had to confess to him. I was like, bro, I'm wrecked. I was like, I'm actually done. But
that was great.
I probably could have went home and then half of that again. It's a 40% rule.
Yeah,
I just bitched out.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Yeah, so my max is what? 10 and then 20, 25K. 25K would be a decent walk, but yeah. Anyways.
I'd walk half marathon.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I probably can't do that, let's face it. But no, that's awesome. And so right now at the moment, I noticed recently, and you can elaborate on this, you're doing some stuff with some elite athletes. Like, are you working with an elite gym, or are you about to, or did I jump the gun there? Have you started?
So yeah, I started. I'm working with a company called Elite Training and Sports Medicine. So there's one facility in Killa Reese and the other one's in Dubai.
Oh wow!
So the situation there is we have general population clients, but we try and direct more at a lot of the training there is with athletes as well. So yeah, it's a really cool environment.
What are you doing there? What's your role there?
So I'm a strength and conditioning coach, but also like. With certain clients still PT as well, but yeah, we're trying to organize where there's a specialist in every field. So there's about between 6 and 8 different coaches, and we all have like our own little niche, you know. So you can kind of come to the facility, and whatever you want to achieve, there's going to be a coach that's going to be the best at that kind of thing, you know. So you can have a client that walks in and say, I want to learn how to powerlift, and we'd be like, okay, you're good with coach X, or I need to develop speed. All right, you're going to be perfect for coach Y. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of environment that we want where you can literally achieve any sort of fitness goal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of football clients, because was that camp that you did recently? I noticed. Is that all in that? Like, and today you were training like a goalkeeper, I noticed.
Yeah. So a lot of these are like local NPL or senior players in some way, but there's few boys from the A-League. Yeah. There's a few collaborations and connections happening with the recovery lounge that the club that the company has as well. So yeah, that performance camp was a initial approach on how to basically create content and show what we can do, because they're looking at creating another performance camp in Bali, but for the A-League, where you get A-League players coming down during their off season and then basically coming into preseason fit already, rather than having to go to preseason to get fit. But like that's none of that's set in stone. They're just ideas at the moment. Australia
seems to be, and this is only a guess, I don't know the fitness industry, but like in most things, Australia seems to be like 5 years behind everything. When all the time that you've spent playing in Europe and stuff, like, are they miles ahead in terms of what we have, and we're just catching up, or are we pretty much on par with like that kind of stuff?
It depends where you're looking at. Like, if you had to compare it to the US, for example, the US is superior when it comes to strength and conditioning, for example. They're miles ahead. Yeah. And then in the UK, I would say it's quite high up there as well in terms of what but it wouldn't be too far Australia. I think US are leading the charts significantly. Yeah. And then Australia will fall somewhere under that.
Yeah.
Same as UK, probably, like along those lines. So they're not. It's come a long way as exercise science. It used to be one of them roles where if Hawthorn, for example, were looking for a strength and conditioning coach, they'd put up an ad and ask for a volunteer strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
And after a student's just spent 4 or 5 years studying tertiary and comes out of that and is offered a voluntary position, like it's kind of spitting on the profession in a way, you know. And you would never see that in the US. It's literally like it's a $100K plus US dollar job over there, you know. It's a respected career,
and you got to earn your stripes. I'm sure to get that job, you got to do internships, etc.
Exactly right.
But that just seems crazy for me. And again, like it seems that strength and conditioning, these sorts of things, is like injury prevention, all that kind of stuff. It just for me that makes sense. Is that right? Like is that kind of the way it works?
It's as it is. So it's strength and conditioning. So it's a strength work to improve on your current strengths, improve the strength of the human body, and then conditioning based, whether it's conditioning aerobically, whether it's conditioning for your sport. So it's like it's tailored to who you're taking. Yeah,
okay. Because then, and then you apply that back to what you were saying before. A club just goes and puts like someone come out of uni a voluntary position.
Exactly.
You got $500,000 full forward.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
And it's like, do some deadlifts.
Exactly.
Do this. But like, if you've got someone that's thing, you want those guys to be elite level.
100%.
And is that what this kind of elite place is offering for both professionals and
so we welcome everyone, and it's basically the environment to be treated like an athlete. It's very a professional approach. It's a very boutique kind of setup. So I think everyone who walks through those doors will get a lot out of the place.
And some of the equipment and just stalking on your Insta and stuff, like some of the stuff like those like look like armchairs with like balloon things on people's legs. What's that? Like
you've got the compression pants and the reclining chairs, and basically the compression works like the same as if you were going to get a blood test.
Okay.
When you tie up your bicep and apply the pressure, and your blood vessels start pumping out blood, so you feel that heartbeat in your arm. Yeah. Same concept. So you put them around your legs. It applies a lot of pressure in different parts of your legs, and then all of a sudden you start feeling your heartbeat in your legs, so it's promoting blood flow.
Post, what's that for? Like?
So it's generally post. So the goal of it is to promote blood flow through the legs, and if you're getting more blood through the legs, you're getting more oxygen, and that's how recovery occurs, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes sense, because that's why obviously blood doping is so successful.
Yeah.
If you did it because you're just putting in new blood cells, right? Yeah. And then so you're promoting blood flow, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's a cool way to do it. And what other kind of state-of-the-art stuff they have there? I was really interested because the setup looks amazing.
It's quality. They have everything you need, really. So in terms of the recovery, there's the pants, the infrared sauna, the heat and the ice bath, and then the recovery bike. So that's done as like a little circuit. So you go in the pants, the sauna, the ice heat bath, and then on the bike, and it's like a little circuit there.
What's your favorite recovery? I want to do one of those ice chambers.
To be fair, you can't really beat that. To me, that's superior for recovery when you're doing that contrast stuff, because essentially you're jumping you're in the ice and then into the heat.
Yeah.
And the goal behind that is essentially in the ice, you're constricting, so your blood vessels are constricting, and then in the heat they're dilating, so it acts as a pump. So you got constriction, dilation. So it works the same as your heart, but you're getting that all around your body. So your heart pumping blood to different parts of your body. Your whole body's acting as one big heart.
Okay.
And you're pumping blood everywhere.
And that probably helps with blood pressure, because it's easier. That process is happening easier.
Exactly. And that's how blood gets through the muscles. Oxygen recovery happens.
Okay, so that's why obviously people promote to stay active, keep moving.
Yeah.
So then that process continues to happen. But this
is
like put on steroids after you're just been working out. Yeah. And then you want optimum blood flow then.
Yeah.
Probably should have mentioned the S word. I said it's been put on steroids. It's got nothing to do with steroids we're talking about. Absolutely nothing. But yeah. And that's a real contentious issue. Like you're, I guess, a fitness influencer on social media. You probably hate that I said it like that.
So much so, I wouldn't say influencer.
Oh mate, well look, your following's like quite big, and I guess like you don't try. It's like it seems to be quite organic in terms of the way it is. But I'd consider you someone that have influence. Like one, you're a coach, whatever the case is. But getting back to that, like, what's your thoughts on people that like actively like? People just go, that bloke's on roids, but then they just come out and they just deny, like that whole culture around that.
What's my opinion on someone having that accusation, or the person who's being accused?
Both,
I suppose if you're the person being accused, take it as a compliment.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
If you're accused,
there's that mentality. Your pessimism turn it into optimism.
Exactly. Take it as a compliment. Like, thanks, man.
Yeah, okay.
But I guess if you're the accuser, man, maybe stop accusing, start doing.
Yeah, where does that come from? Does it come from a place of insecurity?
It could do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting. Have you been accused? Like I wouldn't know. I'm not accusing, but have you come under that scrutiny?
I've definitely been asked many times, but especially when I was a bit younger, or when I was focusing a lot more on getting as big as possible.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, like I said, like if someone's gonna tell me that, like it's never come in as like, you know what, screw you. It's more like, thanks, dude. Do I look that good?
True.
So yeah, it's always taken with a light heart, I guess.
That's the best thing. That's the best comment I've ever heard on that topic.
Yeah.
Like I thought I could like be like a little sneaky guy, just kind of get a little rise out of you, but you're just like, thanks, man. Like, that's what I want. That's actually what I want.
That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you were talking earlier about in terms of where you're at, in terms of how you don't like to be kind of still for too long or whatever the case is, and you make no small plans. What's next for Hayden? So
this year, I'm not 100%. I'm not, like I said, I can't still sit still for too long. But at the same time, I'm not too big of a distant planner. Like I'll plan kind of 6 months at a time at the most. So there's some people that will have like 5 to 10 year plans. Like I can tell you what I'm doing in 5 years. I'm more like, all right, let's take it 6 months at a time. Yeah. And then the path will be determined based on how well those 6 months go. So for this year, for example, like I came back unknowing what was going to happen. So I came back thinking, you know what, I want to see everyone because I miss everyone. Yeah. But I have a British passport, so I was like, there's nothing stopping me from taking off again. And to be honest, that was my original plan. I was like, there's something about the UK that I just need to get back to. Yeah. So I was like, I'll come back, I'll spend the summer, and then we'll go back. We'll go back at some point soon.
It's a good summer to have.
Then you come back home, and like, it's not that I couldn't do that. It's more the opportunities that presented themselves within like weeks of being home, because people saw just like when you've asked me to come on, like people saw like that I've been doing things, like working from my laptop as well. So they got interested, and then the opportunities came. So I had a couple to choose from, and then I've gone with this, and like I really I enjoy what I'm doing at the moment with this company. I think there's a lot of room for growth and like some potential for something real cool to happen later on. So I might stick it out and see how things go. But again, 6 months. I'll reevaluate and answer another question in June for as well.
There's a massive allure for me as well. Like, I reckon it'd be cool working with elite athletes. Like, they're the best in their craft, best in their field. Like, it'd be cool to be involved in that. Yeah. Where, like, I want to kind of reach that through this podcast. I just talk to people that are elite or stories that I think are amazing. And like your traveling experience, 40 countries, like, and you're still young. Like, are you 30 yet? No,
27.
You're 27. Like, there's that whole like 30 before 30. Well, you smash that. Yeah. So he's like 40. So that's just amazing. Yeah. And you got so much. And I was listening the other day to Gary Vee, who I love, and he said, like, he was talking to a guy that was like 45, and this guy was like, "Oh, it's a bit too late for me to do anything." He's like, "Dude, you're literally at halftime."
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you're coming out, you're in the locker room right now preparing for the next half. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do to win the game? Yeah. And then then I looked at myself being 32, 33 this year, and you 27. We're probably like quarter time or like second quarter somewhere.
Yeah.
Some mathematics geniuses in the comments section going to be like, well, technically 45 is halftime. But you know what I mean? Like, we're so like, there's so much to do. And then, and where to go. And then
that's the whole concept of what we were saying before, like having that optimistic outlook, like it's never too late to start from scratch. Like I could start, for example, accounting. I know nothing about accounting. I'm terrible at maths, but I could start tomorrow, and that could be the start of a brand new life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I could, there's nothing it doesn't matter. I couldn't see you doing accounting. That's what I mean. But I'm saying there's nothing stopping anyone from doing that, There's nothing stopping anyone from starting fresh and having a brand new approach. Yeah, that's it. And that's how I've always been, I've always had that kind of mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right, mate. Well, it's been fantastic having you in. I want to get you in again at some point, and we can elaborate more on some of the stuff that we talked about. But before we do go, give yourself a little bit of a plug, mate. Where can we find you? You said you had that one spot left. I want to get that filled up. And it's going to be a Todd Life listener. So a Toddcast listener. I always say Todd Life Wales, my radio show. But anyways, where can we find you online?
Yeah, so Instagram's probably best bet on at HVC Fit.
Yep.
And I've got another business training account which you can find through that one.
Yeah, okay.
That my website's on there as well, so everything's linked to that. So the best bet's.
I'll bang those in the descriptions as well.
Fit,
yeah, and then so you can go on and have a look and see if it's right for you, like that kind of training stuff.
That's it.
Because I can vouch for you as a personal trainer. You're fantastic. As I said, literally,
Thanks,
that was me. But yeah, man, thanks again, once again, and I guess that's us, mate. Thanks.
No worries, quality. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Awesome.